welcome back to an episode of Titan Car Wash, more on the name change shortly. Today I'm going to show you how we winterize our car washes to deal with the kind of ridiculous temperatures we're going to get here in Middle Tennessee. I'm actually in Kentucky. Right, so if you're up north, you're probably going to think we're ridiculous because it's going to be down to feels like temperatures of -1 Fahrenheit, which is about -20 Celsius, I think. And that's just too damn cold. We don't have floor heat here. It did have at some point, but they removed it. They deleted it for reasons known only to the previous owners. Probably just a little bit too expensive to justify. And so it's really hard for us to stay on top of ice and clearing ice through the day. We're unattended because we're self-serve, and like most self-serve operators, you're here once or twice a day, making sure everything works, keeping it clean. Unfortunately, someone was here and filled us with mud, which is now frozen, and I can't get rid of it until it warms up. But as we're unattended, we want to keep people safe. As soon as that water hits, it just freezes. Like you can see there's ice here. You can actually see there's ice here from the weep system. And so you know, we want to make money, but we want to keep people safe. Somebody falls and sues us, it's going to cost us an awful lot more than our revenue for the year. And we also just don't want people to get hurt. So what we do here in Hopkinsville is we close all the bays. I've taken the guns off. A couple of the valves for the weep don't actually shut off properly. So some have partial state hoses removed, others have the full hoses removed. We don't have a blowdown system here, which is something I'd really like, but I disconnected cables from the product solenoid for the tire cleaner. That meant that I could just run air through the lines and kind of clear it all down, having shut the weep off for the lines that actually close. The weep system here, there's a Dixmoor on the back wall. That has a temperature probe outside, and then you have 2 or 3 different programs to determine how much water is actually let through the cat pump out into the bay. Normally just keep it running to avoid freezing, but that does result in your bays just being covered in ice, which is just dangerous. Another solution we have is for the foaming brush. We actually switched over to some Warsaw soap. It's called Frosty Foam from H2O. Reach out if you want to contact for soaps. Warsaw soaps have been pretty reliable, but you know, there's probably a better option out there as well. If you have a better option, please let us know. So Frosty Foam, this guy here is in the region of $180 from memory. This guy here is $300, and you have to use a lot more of this because it's got methanol in. But what we also have is from Sea Marine, something like that company, a massive drum of methanol. Now I've just got this working. I've actually gone through 2 flow jet pumps testing it, and I need to tidy that up because it looks like a mess. But what happens here is we have a flow jet pump. Well, the methanol goes up into the hydrominder, mixes in there. You can see it's purple because it backflowed for a minute. But then the methanol drains out of there into the flow jet pump. There's air that comes in, product out. That comes all the way around here to these solenoids, which again are temperature controlled. So below a certain value, these solenoids will open to push methanol through the lines for the foam brush. And I think that drum of methanol is about $240 for 55 gallons versus $300 for our Frosty Foam, and that's 15 gallons. So as you can tell, that's the better solution for this side. Now I've put down a load of rock salt, some like ice melt stuff so that we can keep the automatic open. That we're going to keep open for the next few days. Today is Sunday, we're going to be closing down until Wednesday morning. I'll be back to open everything up. But this will still work, the doors will open automatically, and they're going to be used as normal. We have plenty of options here on how to keep things safe because we have the room. We have the room for multiple chemicals. We have the room for this methanol tank and the associated hydrominders. And we don't have that in Portland. I'm going to drive over there now. Thankfully it stopped snowing and they've actually started plowing the roads. They look fine now. Join me in Portland. We're going to see how we winterize there. Different site, much smaller, slightly more complicated. All right, we've made it here to Portland, Tennessee now, and it's still pretty cold, still snow on the ground. And this is what happens when, you know, winter hits. There's obviously a lot more mud, a lot more mess. It's obviously exacerbated here. This is one of the issues we have. This is really slippery. That's why we're gonna close. There's only so much salt you can put down before the next person comes and washes it away. Bay 2, actually Bay 2 is not too bad at all. Let's check the brushes. Not too frozen. It's actually using blowdown, so I expect those to be a little bit more frozen if I'm honest. And then Bay 3 again, just needs a bit of a sweep. And then because people are assholes, they leave your equipment stuck to the ground. Takes all sorts. Generally people are assholes. And let's have a look at the vacuums. I can see a problem already. For some reason, people like to steal the nozzles from vacuums. Now I know how gross they are. I know how dirty the vacuums are because we have to clean them out. Why you would want to steal the nozzle is beyond me. Let's go have a look inside. Standard tight fit into the Portland pump room. God, it feels dark in here compared to outside. No obvious new leaks. The old leaks persist. How are we doing? Yesterday we did 11 washes, none today. That makes sense. It's Sunday morning. Sunday morning in Tennessee, so all our customers are at church. Plus it's bloody freezing and it snowed, so we're not expecting to be too busy. Now let me show you something that's a bit of a red flag. If we look at this changer, you'll see lots of coins, and if we look at this changer, you'll see there's not much left in there at all. So we're going to test the build changer on the left here, because there's no way that it's just coincidence that the left one or the right one of them has done a hopper's worth of coins and the other one has done none. But you know, it's just collecting quarters, isn't it? Just collecting quarters. Yeah, we've first scale, we have this much in the changes for the last few days. Bang, crash, wallop. And then the other changer, we actually have a decent amount. All right, there might not be an issue, but we will go test it, because we test everything when we visit. Cold. Let's get that heater going. So unlike Hopkinsville, we have the Weep turned off here all of the time now, because what we do have is this Polar Freeze Guard system, which is a panel with a PLC. It takes an input here from the base. It knows when the bays have been on, and outputs up here to this panel here. It basically controls the air inlet, which is turned on, good, thankfully, and will pump out air through the solenoids there, just using the pressure from the compressor to blow down the lines. And it only blows down from the manifold down to the tip of the gun or to the brush. The rest of the lines are kept warm in a different way. We have heat tape here, which is nicely wrapped around. I have temperature sensors up in the trough so that I can always measure it. The heat tape is self-sensing, so as soon as it gets too cold, it turns itself on, but I wanted to have some temperature sensors up there just so I could see if there's a problem. One other thing we're gonna do today is we are gonna try and play with the Water Wizard Gantry heating system. Very simple system, used to be tied to the Water Wizard, and what it does is it recirculates water through the troughs. It has a tank here that it heats up, and then it's just a loop, just a contained loop. And right now it doesn't work. You'll see there's a light on this box here, but there are fuses in there apparently which can blow separate to whatever turns that light on. And unfortunately we don't have the key. We're gonna take an angle grinder to it and see if we can get in. But before we close things down, we need to have a bit of a sweep up, bit of a tidy, get it to a point where it looks half decent, and then we'll turn everything off. And maybe we should put out cones first. In fact, that's what we'll do. Cones out, tidy up, and then make sure everything is safe for these super cold temperatures. Okay, should be about to get a little bit of a proof of our blowdown system here. It was slightly frozen, which makes me wonder if it's actually working properly. That's how it works. It blows it down like that. And then all three of the hoses will blow. You can hear the air compressor's not too happy about this. That might need replacing. So I wanted to show you, you can see the ice that's in there. I think the issue is that we have a lot of water from our air compressor because we don't run it through a dryer. Mostly because there's just no space for a decent dryer. I think what's happening is there's just enough moisture in there that it's getting stuck at the gun and freezing it. So relatively easy fix. I can get a cheap dryer from Harbor Freight, frankly, or Amazon, and that should help fix the problem. Given that we're going to be closed, it's not hugely alarming. In fact, when I come back to reopen, that's when I'll do the change. That's when I'll add the dryer. You might be thinking it's crazy to put all this mud down the drain, but we actually have someone coming out to do the pits in the next couple of weeks. So they charge us a flat fee for the pit. If there's more mud in there, no big deal. Right, onwards. All right, so the last thing we're going to do is we're going to try and open up this box here for the gantry heat. Like I said, I don't have the key. I can't find a key for it anywhere. So we're going to take a grinder to it and see how that goes. Ooh, yeah, that went well. It's a strong start. Maybe it is a two-hand job. You'd think at a certain point it's going to just yield and then everything will be fine. I bet that's really hot. Ah, it stinks. So what lives in here? 2 relays, a load of grounding, and a contactor. Oh, contactor's gone bad. I wonder if we can isolate the power to this and go from there. Okay, so from what I can tell, the contactor is in correctly because the temperature demand is on, but nothing happens. So the relays look fine. I don't really know what else is wrong with it. It's one of those things where I probably need a technician to come out and look. There's a heater and a pump there, neither of which seem to be doing anything. So I don't really know. Thanks for joining me. We winterized both sites and we're in a good place to go for these next few days. Automatics will be open, self-service closed. And we've got to use an angle grinder, which is manly. If you're interested in the Hopkinsville site, watch this video here where I show you everything that we have and talk about some of our plans for developments going forward. See you in the next one.